This is the backyard of the city of Genoa in northern Italy, home to the Apennines. It's a land of chestnut trees, wild boar and talented silversmiths. It's the foothills of the Alps, and the mountains here plunge down to the sea.
Buongiorno, benvenuti.
Io sono Marisa Vacigalupo, presidente del GAL Appennino Genovese.
Angela Rollando, direttore del GAL Appennino Genovese.
Annalisa Cevasco, l'altro direttore del GAL Appennino Genovese. Indossiamo questi abiti tradizionali per accogliere ospiti speciali e sono prodotti nei territori del nostro Appennino.
The LAG, or Local Action Group Appennino Genovese, comprises 56 municipalities. Its territory includes the entire Genoa province, minus the city of Genoa itself, and the coast, which attracts thousands of tourists every year. That's why this LAG has 2 managers and a big team of staff. They travel through the entire region, which isn't easy as it's very hilly and many of the valleys are not linked together.
Questo porta, numerose conseguenze.
This has several consequences. First, for industry and development, mainly because space is quite limited. Second, the city of Genoa is like a sponge, soaking up the region's human resources and leaving a small population in the rural areas around the city. The population density in the mountain areas is very low, and there is a serious problem of accessibility. Our strategy is based on strong synergies between all the economic actors of the territory, agriculture and art and crafts, as you can see from my earrings. Tourism can be developed everywhere, and all these economic actors are being brought together to improve services and the quality of life of the local population. The innovative part of the strategy is to create synergies between the weak part of the rural areas and the strong structure of the city, to build links which can serve mountain villages and overcome a feeling of isolation. Also, with LAG's international policy, the villages can feel they are part of a wider Europe.
Some links between the city and the rural areas are easy to establish, like this little organic market every Tuesday on the square just down from the GAL office in Genoa. The staff come here to shop for their groceries. All the producers come from the mountains.
It's an international experiment that we support to commercialise the typical products of the Genoa hinterland. Several markets can take place in the centre. We can organise selling spots in companies or promote producer-managed shops where the products are sold directly from the producer to the consumer.
Some other projects are much more complicated to set up and involve many people. The Chestnut Road, for example, is an ambitious project intended to boost the local economy in the eastern valleys of the territory. It is a tourist route targeted at national as well as international tourists. A map is being drawn up with all important sites to see and visit. The project didn't start from scratch. In fact, the idea came from an earlier international project.
In Leader 2, our LAG was part of a transnational cooperation project activated by another Italian LAG. Other LAGs from France, Spain and Portugal were also parts of the project. It was about an international chestnut road. With that project, we realised that there was a real interest for the chestnut as a product. So we decided to transfer the idea of a chestnut route to our territory.
There are now more than 60 partners in the Chestnut Road Association. All of them are not necessarily directly related to tourism, because the Chestnut Road project goes far beyond just developing tourist incentives. For example, let's take what best represents a spot on a tourist route, a restaurant. La Brinca is a restaurant in a remote village, famous for its chestnut-based cooking. It is considered one of the best of the region and part of the Chestnut Road Association. But the restaurant is much more than a symbol on a map.
Sono gnocchetti di castagna fatti col pesto al mortaio. For
us, the chestnut is fundamental. It's one of the most important plants and has provided work and a long life to so many generations on our land. Today, it's almost a luxury product. But only decades ago, our families were surviving thanks to the chestnut tree. It was the bread tree, so as a mark of respect to our grandparents, it's important to carry on this tradition. And thanks to the Chestnut Road Associations, there are still young people who want to farm and grow chestnut trees.
Fare ancora agricoltura col castagno.
Among the association's partners are producer cooperatives. La Cooperativa Il Castagno at Valle Sturla includes 17 producers of chestnuts and chestnut flour. They have a small shop along the road, but being part of the project also helps them promote their products at regional level.
There are pilot projects that have been carried out through the lag to set up the Chestnut Road. It attracts people from the region, people who want to see where and how the chestnut flour is produced, to taste it, to buy it. This activates the channel of selling directly from the producer to the consumer.
For some partners, the idea of how to get the most out of the Chestnut Road sometimes comes afterwards. Take this Piemontese cow breeder. He joined the association without knowing the benefits, and now he is thinking of letting his cows graze in the forest. Because of the recent European fallow policy, many fields have been abandoned and the forest is taking over. The cows, who love chestnuts and leaves, can help to stop the forest overgrowing and maintain the traditional landscape. This programme managed to bring a large number of private as well as institutional partners together around the table, in this case the table of the Chamber of Commerce. Above all, it managed to link the hinterland valleys to the city. But beyond that, it's the whole of Europe that is connected to the territory.
This lag in particular was able to combine its work on a rural territory with the rest of Europe. They took part in many international projects, in Interreg programmes, and managed to address the challenge of isolation for the hinterland compared to the rest of Europe.
Here's another project that shows how the Gal Appennino Genovese has a multi-sectoral approach to development. The region has many wonderful mountain rivers with pure water. Lately, the Lag, the province of Genoa and the parks realised that with 13,000 fishermen, angling could be a rich asset for the territory, and they developed a special programme accordingly.
We gave priority to the projects that can be implemented quickly. 9 actions have been selected on Lag territory.
This rest area is due to be renovated and special access will be created for handicapped fishermen.
We first work with the municipalities. If we bring people, we must be able to welcome them, because the visitors don't come only for fishing, but also for other things.
The educational aspect has not been forgotten in the project. An aquarium has been built in Fontanigorda. School children and fishermen can come here to understand better how the ecosystem works.
Together with the Lag, we succeeded in attracting groups who would normally only come during July and August. Now we get people who stay longer and keep the B&Bs, the restaurants and all the tourist structures busy. The fishing season starts in February and runs until October. For the whole year, the fishermen are preparing, creating a new dynamic in the region.
La Comunità Montana of the Trebbia Valley comprises 8 municipalities. Among them is the smallest village in Italy, with only 80 inhabitants. Due to the small size of the municipalities and the distances involved, services to the population are very poor. Now a kindergarten, called Baby Parking, has been set up thanks to the Lag, which helped to access provincial funds for families. What was new in this project was that the villages had to coordinate their actions.
This method forced us to think as a single territory. The municipalities agreed on a single project, and that's new, because they were not used to cooperating in such a close manner.
The children's activities, care and transport are organised by CISEF, a socio-educational cooperative specialised in running playgrounds all over the province of Genoa. For the families, it was not easy to entrust their children to strangers. Here too, a solution has been found.
At the beginning, we were looked on with suspicion because some similar actions, some previous attempts, were not successful. So we hired and trained local people, and we don't have strangers facing the families.
Another baby parking has been set up in a nearby village too, and there might be more to come.
Through the baby parking in the Trebbia Valley, the LAG has been contacted by other local associations to copy the project in other parts of the territory. Through its financing, the region of Liguria recognised that the project has a positive impact and helps the Comunità Montana.
Thanks to the baby parking, children who were rather isolated now have a chance to socialise, and the mothers have more time to find work. Their quality of life has improved. Together with the other projects, especially those involved with tourism, the whole territory is being rejuvenated, thanks to the network of local action groups.